are back, and this time the carnage has been maxed to the extreme. Series 3 is set to be our biggest and most baddest series so far in Robot Wars history. And from what's about to take place, it definitely looks likely. Over the next few months, 9 machines will be partaking in one of the biggest and most destructive competitions ever in our upcoming 16 heats, where they will then progress into one of our 2 semi-finals before the big finale at the end of the series. If any machine is left standing, our judges will step in to come up with a decision. They'll be judging on style, control, damage, and aggression. Now let's kick it into high gear and check out our first heat of the series. Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing the new fights for Series 3 with the 17th Seeds Wheels up against the newcomers Barn and Mechavore, along with newcomers Anesthesia, Direwolf, and our first Walker machine hailing from Russia, Big 8 Machine 3. But first up, the reigning champion Sub-Zero up against the newcomers Kronos and veterans Crustacean. Let the carnage begin! Sub-Zero Flipper! They were seeded 23 in the last wars and managed to climb all the way to the top of the podium. Their CO2 Flipper has proven to still be a dangerous weapon in the warzone and will throw you out of the arena. It'll also throw itself into the air when self-righting. The wheels are still exposed and the turning circle isn't the greatest, but as reigning champions, they'll be looking to do better than 259 at protecting their title. Kronos Spinner. A full body spinner with combat experience, the exposed wheels on the top can also help them run upside down, and the weapon makes hitting the machine extremely difficult. But there is a major issue with them, which is that they are a full body spinner, and they aren't exactly easy to control. Crustacean Crusher. We saw them in the last wars and didn't do a bad job. The machine can drive both ways up, making flipping it rather pointless and immobilizing it even harder. The way the weapon works is also absolutely amazing. But the caster causes trouble driving over things, causing it to get stuck on the flame pit, and even causing it to get stuck on the pit of oblivion.
Roboteers, stand by.
Reigning champions, Sub-Zero with the CO2 powered flipper. Kronos, the full body spinner. Both these designs from Battleboard, don't forget. And Crustacean with the unique crushing claws.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Great to see the reigning champs back in the fight. Not so great seeing them snag on the pit. Great seeing that though, throwing Crustacean through the air. And now trying to do the same thing to Kronos. Not able to though. Sub-Zero back on Sub-Zero. They're the weakest they have deduced. As Crustacean's stuck in the flipper of Sub-Zero. Once again, Sub-Zero going on Kronos. Not effective though. And there's a good flip. And up goes Crustacean. And that's the power of the reigning champs as they do a somersault. Look at this again. There's the flip. And they've thrown themselves up and over as well. Out goes Crustacean. They're into the Bronze Rumble. But great self-righting mechanism as well, doing a backflip as well. Or front flip somersault, one of those two. But now, Sub-Zero trying to get underneath Kronos. That does so! Struggled a bit, but finally got there in the end. And that's the end of Kronos. And that's Sub-Zero easily going through to the Gold Rumble. I think a little bit's come off the flipper there of Sub-Zero. You can just see there's a bit of blue on the flipper. I don't think that's really going to affect anything. That's easy to fix. Well done, Sub-Zero! And there's the confirmation for Sub-Zero into the Gold Rumble. Kronos, Silver, Crustacean, Bronze. Next up, Anesthesia, Big 8 Machine 3, and Direwolf. Anesthesia Flipper! design looks similar to reigning champ Sub-Zero. Of course, they have an advantage to them, which is no exposed wheels. They also have a strong CO2 flipper and low wedge, as well as Shremek arms on the side to roll it back onto its wheels. That's the intent, anyway. Sadly, they've stated that the effectiveness of the arms is rather suspect. Big Hate Machine 3 Walker Bot. A walker bot from Russia with a swinging arm to deliver 3 circular swords to anyone unfortunate to be under it. And because it's a walker, it's allowed to be twice as heavy. But walker bots do have a gigantic problem, which is movement and being very slow, and it doesn't have the greatest pushing power. But being heavier than the majority of machines in the competition, pushing it is going to be a challenge. Direwolf Control Bot. The design of the machine is very gorgeous, and the engineering of it is so complicated and jaw-dropping. The jaws not only close and breathe fire, which is bloody awesome by the way, a fire-breathing wolf, but the head can also tilt upwards, which pulls the front paws in to pick the opposition up and take it back to its den. That is absolutely brilliant, and I absolutely love it. Yes, it has exposed wheels and can't right itself, but who the bloody hell cares? This is the coolest robot we've ever had enter the arena. And I know I'm meant to be unbiased, but I really want this machine to do well.
Roboteers, stand by.
Anesthesia with the CO2 power flipper and self-righting side arms. Big Hate Machine 3, our first walker bot with the swinging 3 circular saws. And Direwolf with the lifting jaws and flamethrower and rather neat design.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Not really much else I can say about Direwolf. I don't really know much. I know that Anesthesia, however, is on the attack on the Russians. Up goes Big Hate Machine 3, throwing up Direwolf. Not really gonna do much. And, well, Direwolf now pushing away at Big Hate Machine 3. And see how easily he pushed him as well. And nearly sent Direwolf out the arena there. And now thrown over. And that's the end of Direwolf, and this will be the end of Big Hate Machine 3. There they go, out the arena. Our first walker machine in Rebel Wars thrown out, and they're quite heavy walkers. Look at this. Effortlessly thrown out. That shows how powerful the flipper of Anesthesia really is. As they're now trying to do the same thing to Direwolf. I don't think they'll be that successful with Direwolf. It's a strange design, and they're too close to the wall. Their design, it's... I like Direwolf, I really do. And Direwolf thrown up and over again. It's a shame the machine can't self-right, really. But up and over. There's no real driving upside down. Well, there is a little bit of driving upside down. Not truly, though. But this is well and truly Anesthesia on top. And Anesthesia not planning on letting up. What can Direwolf do? Well, if they raise their head more, then their wheels will be touching the ground so they can drive upside down. And Direwolf now to push away at Anesthesia. Oh! But they've got themselves on the edge of the pit, and down they go. You are way too close. Look at this. They've driven over and went too far over the pit. And then one traverse. Oh, down they go fully. And it's Anesthesia through to the gold rumble. Well done, Anesthesia, and commiserations to Direwolf. I mean, the outcome I expected for Big Hate Machine 3 did happen. They're in the bronze rumble, Direwolf into the silver, and next up it's Barn, Mechavore, and Wheels. Wheels Spinner. They knocked out the reigning champions of the Last Wars twice before crashing out of the Heat Final, and also made the Grand Finals of the New Blood Championships where they lost to Destructotron. Such an impressive machine, it has to be said. The weapon is really effective and it can run both ways up. However, those huge wheels are very exposed and it can throw itself up and over by wheeling. And control of the machine isn't exactly all that great, to be perfectly honest. Barn! Spinner! What in the actual name of hell is this? This thing is frickin' gigantic compared to many machines in the competition. It has a spinning drum blade, which under normal circumstances would be effective, but given the design, I seriously doubt the machine itself will be at all effective. Seriously, why the hell did you even build this? Mechavore Spinner! Don't let their newcomer status fool you. They have plenty of combat experience from their time on Battleboards. The flywheel is actually made of 2 discs, and it's actually extremely effective. The drive is also very good too, but the wheels are exposed, leaving it vulnerable to attacks, and it's questionable on if and how effective it can drive upside down.
Robot ears, stand by.
Wheels, the spinning drum bar beater thingy-mabobby. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Barn, the... Yeah, we'll come back to that one later. And Mechavore with the spinning flywheel. 2 flywheels as 1, actually. That's
3,
pretty cool.
2, 1, activate.
They also have a lot of battle experience from BattleBots, and they've already gone for the bit release button. And Wheels, is Wheels okay? Well, they've lost a tire, and they're in the pit! Well, they're trying to ramp out as well. They're not going to, and thank you, Mechavore, for destroying that monstrosity. But the machine itself is still working, and it's causing problems for Mechavore. Well, that's a surprise. Now the machine itself can take damage. But how effective? Well, that's effective!
Cease.
Barn! I don't know how to respond to that, but that's the result from this battle. So here are how our rumbles look. Gold Rumble with Sub-Zero, Anesthesia, and Barn somehow. Silver Rumble has Kronos, Direwolf, and the spinner of Mechavore. And our Bronze Rumble consists of Crustaceans, Big Hate Machine 3, and Fallen Seeds Wheels.
Robot ears, stand by.
The Bronze Rumble with Crustacean and the Crushing Claws, the Walkerbot Big Hate Machine 3 with the swinging circular saw arm, and Wheels with the spinning egg beater thingy. And I'm surprised Wheels are here, given the performance in the last wars.
2, 1, activate.
A real surprise seeing them here, and Wheels nearly throwing themselves out the arena, and are actually going really crazy. Which is weird, they were a lot more controlled in the last wars. And Big Hate Machine 3 being attacked by Crustacean! And I think I just saw smoke! There is smoke! There's smoke coming out of Wheels! Something's gone wrong! I think the electronics have burned out! There's no movement, there's no control. I think Wheels are 100% fully immobilized! And Crustacean, get away from the pit! You know the issue you have with that caster! Hey, what are you doing? Well, clearly luring Big Hate Machine 3 because those legs are not good at helping get away from the pit. And one nudge, you missed. One more nudge from Crustacean, and that'll be it. Down goes Big Hate Machine 3 into the pit. And they are gone. Our first Walkerbot in Rumble Wars crash out. And now Crustacean to deal with Wheels. What happened to Wheels? It is such a shame to see them crash out so early. They had a fairly good run in the last wars, knocked out reigning champions 259 twice. And they made the semi-final of the New Blood Championships in the last Wars before falling to Destructotron. Poor Wheels and Crushstation pushing Wheels towards the flames. That's where Wheels shall reside. And it's Wheels going home, and it's Crushstation going through to the death or glory, spinning in delight. What happened to Wheels? I honestly have no clue. I'm as shocked as you. Genuinely such an upset to see Wheels crash out as early as they have. I thought they would go like to the heat final like they did in the last Wars, but nope. It's Crushstation going through. And next up at the Silver Rumble, Kronos, Direwolf, and Mechavore.
Robot ears, stand by.
The Silver Rumble with Kronos, the full body spinner, the impressive looking Direwolf with the lifting jaws and flamethrower. Not seen that, actually. And Mechavore with the lethal flywheel. Surprising how they've crashed out here against Barn. Surprised they lost to them.
3, 2, 1.
How the hell do you lose to that? How do you lose to Barn, Mechavore? How? He was easy. Maybe you can do better against Direwolf as your blade can just rip bits apart. I think that's what that thing is there on the floor. In comes Kronos to get involved. Not sure who they're getting involved on, but they're getting involved nonetheless. And Direwolf actually faster and more maneuverable than Mechavore, so Direwolf can easily get around to the side of Mechavore and put them around the pits down. And is there something wrong with Kronos here? Because Kronos, they're spinning around on the spot, but they're not moving. Is there something wrong? I think the drive's gone. They're not moving at all. I think they're immobilized. Direwolf, you cannot pin Mechavore against the arena wall. We had problems with that before in the last Wars. And if you do that, in this battle, you will be disqualified. It is possible for you to get disqualified. Great to see they're free now. And there, good ping off the side of Kronos there for Mechavore. Was that a little bit of movement from Kronos? I think so, but I don't know. Maybe it could have been residual energy from the wall, but I don't think we really need to worry about Kronos there. Well and truly, yeah. How on earth did they survive that? Look at this. There's the push from Mechavore. I mean, not Mechavore, Direwolf, and across the pit. Oh, I've heard of walking on water, but walking across the pit of oblivion. Never before have we seen that on Robot Wars. And now Mechavore down the pit and out. Direwolf's followed. Direwolf's following them into the pit. No real problems though. Mechavore, they're out. Direwolf through to the death or glory. Well done, Direwolf. A good performance, I have to say. And I think Mechavore lost to a very good machine in Direwolf. No idea what happened to Kronos, they done long ago. Next up, the Gold Rumble, however, with reigning champion Sub-Zero, the newcomers Anesthesia, and the real surprise package in Barn.
Robot ears, stand by.
The Gold Rumble now with reigning champions Sub-Zero with the CO2 flipper against Anesthesia, built like Sub-Zero with their own CO2 powered flipper. And Barn. I am still trying to figure out how on earth that machine got here with its spinning drum blade and its size. Like, how? How on earth did you defeat Wheels? How on earth did you defeat How on earth did you defeat Mechivore? Oh, figure that out. Meanwhile, that guy... Well, Sub-Zero didn't have to waste too much time with Anesthesia. Meanwhile, Barn doing damage to Sub-Zero, and there's smoke coming from them. There's smoke coming from one of the wheels of Sub-Zero. Has the spinning drum blade of Barn done serious damage? I think it has, and now Barn... Well, I don't believe what I'm witnessing here. The reigning champions struggling against a machine that is taller than any of the house robots, and Sub-Zero, they've lost all drive, they're immobilized, and Barn somehow have won. I cannot believe it! They're spinning in the light! And rightfully too!
Cease.
Barn has defeated the reigning champions! They've sent them into the death or glory! I am speechless at that! Well done, Barn! I have to say! I am genuinely flabbergasted! Barn somehow defeated our reigning champions! This is our death or glory! The reigning champions against Anesthesia, Direwolf, and Crustacean! How?!
Robot ears, stand by.
Death or glory with Crustacean, the crushing claws from the Bronze Rumble, Direwolf with the very interesting design from the Silver Rumble, Anesthesia with the CO2 flipper from the Gold Rumble, along with reigning champions Sub-Zero. Surprised they're here.
2, 1. Activate.
And this is only the first heat of the third war, so we already have a major surprise. The reigning champs in the Death or Glory, who are currently being pressurized by Direwolf. Anesthesia now gets into the mix. Can Sub-Zero get away? They are. Crustacean now coming in on the attack on Anesthesia, but now Direwolf coming back in on Sub-Zero. Crustacean trying to crush down on Anesthesia, not really working. Sub-Zero trying to get away, and now has a chance to throw Direwolf, and has done so. Ooh, they were very lucky of where they were when that flip happened. Otherwise, they would be out the arena. In comes Crustacean now to crush down on Sub-Zero. How will Sub-Zero deal with this? Well, about that, well, they're stuck in the wallet. Oh, hey! Well, that's impressive there. What? An impressive charge from Direwolf. Look at this here. They've just come to the side of Anesthesia and slammed them onto the side. And right up and over. And now holding them against the wall once again. They cannot do that. But then again, there does seem to be a problem with Anesthesia as Sub-Zero pushes Crustacean into the area, and now, well, they're all stuck together, and Crustacean now on the attack on Direwolf. Anesthesia, meanwhile, in trouble. Are those lifting arms coming into play? No. Direwolf's up and over. Crustacean thrown out and into the lights. Out of the arena into the lights. Meanwhile, Anesthesia, they are in trouble. They're not righting themselves. I think they are immobilized. They did mention the reliability issues with those lifting arms. Direwolf thrown again. And Sub-Zero, I think you can hear them running out of CO2. And that's why they're struggling throwing them at this point. They've still got enough power to throw them up, but I don't think they have enough to flip them out the arena. Direwolf up and over again. And now it's Sub-Zero pinning in Direwolf, our reigning champions. Again, you cannot do that, but they are aware that they let them go. And there, I think it's evident that there's now no CO2 left in the flipper. Direwolf in trouble. Are those little casters on the inside of Direwolf underneath? It looks it. Sub-Zero coming in again, trying to flip. There's no point. You can't flip them out. You're out of CO2. Direwolf trying to break the jaw. Well, you could try. And oh, Direwolf now being grilled by the flames. And that is a problem. But Direwolf, there's no movement from them. They can't really do anything. They can't right themselves. Not really. They probably could have tried, but I don't think they'll be able to. Up and over. Sub-Zero comes in again. And now I think they're leaving Direwolf alone and slamming into the angle grind on the other side of the arena. Direwolf up and over and immobilized, and Sub-Zero gets the chance to fight back in the warzone to defend their title. And will they be able to get their revenge on Barn? Well, let's bloody hope so. At least they've come out on top in this Death of Glory. They did it back in the first wars, but they go through to face off against Barn in the Heat final. What lessons have they learnt from their last battle against Barn, and can they defend their title?
Robot ears, stand by.
This is a prize for a Heat final. The reigning champions back. They've done better than 259 did. But to see Barn here, I've underestimated Barn. Like, despite the jokes I've made about Barn, they are actually quite effective. It has to be said. They have definitely made me eat my own words. And they defeated Sub-Zero in the Gold Rumble and sent them to the Death or Glory. Will they be able to do that here and kick them out of the tournament? Or will Sub-Zero enact their revenge? Probably the latter, honestly, because now Sub-Zero can solely focus on them. Although a tire's gone, and I think another one's gone as well from the other side. So now Sub-Zero, a good flip there on Barn, not enough to throw them out. That one is, and that's the end of Barn. Out they go, and it's Sub-Zero going through to the series semi-finals. A great performance from Barn that sadly ends here. What a shame for Barn. But what an impressive comeback for Sub-Zero. The first machine through to the series semifinals. Sub-Zero bringing it back from the brink of defeat as they successfully defend their title and reach the semifinals. We almost lost our reigning champions. Let's hope they do better in the semis. But until then, take care, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.